Hello and welcome back to Game Start. I'm your host, Bardic Knowledge, and I am about to show you how to turn a moonstone into a sunstone, which you can't actually do in Pokemon unless they introduce extreme time travel. So, on the world map, there's that little island in the upper right corner. Every era you go to, that island is sitting right there in the exact same spot. And if we actually get to it, there we go, it's called the Sun Keep. It's a very suggestive name. Sun Keep, where the sun never sets. Ooh. That would make for an interesting science video. What would it take to have a place on a planet where the sun never sets? And what would be the meteorological implications of such a place? I've been working on the, I suppose, stellar cartography of a planet for a video game, so I don't really need to do the stellar cartography, but I want to. And I just recently realized that the moon, or moons in that planet's case, would have different phases depending on where you are standing on the planet's surface. So we'll have to see. Well, I doubt we'll get a science video on it unless someone who is watching this sometime in the future when I've got more than 4 subscribers, not counting myself, like recommending the idea to Austin Horrigan of Game Theory and his own channel, whose name I forget because I never actually watched his channel. I've only watched him on Game Theory. Anyways, now let us go. So, I know what I need to do, but I'm just going to show off. You go forward to 12,000. The island is still there, but it has apparently moved a little bit. Interesting. You go in. It's starting to glow a little bit, but you can't take it, because it's still charging. And that's, let's see, 65 million minus 12,000. So that's 64,988,000 years later. Nothing. So you're supposed to go to the future. Let's see if it's moved anymore. Nope, now it is in the same spot. So that's another 14,000. So 65,002,300 years is how long it takes for a moonstone to become a sunstone, except the moonstone is gone. Seems it's been gone for 1,300 years or so. How in darkness' name could you tell that? Robo, maybe. He could probably figure it out. Unless maybe Magus knows some sort of, investigation spell or something? Let's get back to the present. So this is something that I could have short-circuited, as I think I mentioned, but I'm showing off every step of it so that you know what the actual steps are. So, fly north a ways. Fly east a ways. That's another thing, is this planet doesn't have any, north or south pole. So, sparkly house. I wonder why it's so sparkly. So, person I hate most, my dad. Dad loves money more than he loves me. Children are slipping away from us. It's so sad. Talk to this guy. Moonstone? Never heard of it. And he's completely obstinate about the whole affair. If you talk to him before doing the side quest, then he says, I'll pay you 10 G to cluck like a chicken. And you can do so, and he'll give you 10 G. It's a little silly, and I almost wish I could do it with Magus. But what you're supposed to do, buy the jerky from the snail stop, there in 1000, then come back here to the Elder's house, and give this lady the jerky. Now, we have 3 choices. If we say not interested, nothing changes. If we actually sell it, then the family becomes super poor and begin to treasure what they have, and he gives it to you for a price, I think. I forget exactly. But if you just give it to her, you're giving it away? I never thought... I thought there were no kind people left in this world. I was trying to say the line from memory, and I failed. And it's amusing that she's saying this to Magus, the Fiend Lord. You can bet my children are going to learn the value of sharing. So now... Or maybe it's if you choose to sell it for 10,000. She just goes, I can't afford that. And nothing happens that way either. And now I'm thinking about the complete lack of inflation across 400 years in this world. So now, person I like most? My dad, of course. He loves his dad. Wish my husband were a little less generous. So we completely changed history with one kind act. There's a moral in there somewhere, I think. You're interested in the Moonstone? Well, someone simply left it there. Seems important to you folks. Why don't you take it? So then, you pop back to Sun Keep. Excuse me. Pop it back in place. Interesting slip of the tongue. And I think you can see it's glowing a bit more than it was in 12,000. Then pop back up to 2,300. Can't land there anymore. Pop into the Sun Keep. And it is blindingly bright now. Amazing! With this much energy, I can make a powerful weapon. Let's go to my house now. And I just skip straight to Luca's house, where you get her sort of ultimate weapon. Modify the Sunstone to extract its energy, and we'll just vacuum pack it into a cartridge. I wonder if that's shining out of a skylight or something. And it's finished! Got the Wonder Shot. It is technically Luca's ultimate weapon. Sometimes I amaze myself. But it has a slight issue. It does completely random damage, unless you get a crit, in which case it does maximum damage. But it's generally recommended to use the second strongest weapon, because then you don't have to deal with the random damage. Take a look, Luca. I borrowed a bit of the Sunstone to create something nifty. Sunshades. So, suppose with the Prism Helm on, we can make Magus a real cool dude by giving him these shades. It says ups attack power, but doesn't seem to actually do anything. Why is that still open? So, it says, all damage the wearer inflicts is increased by 25%. So, that means that, it boosts the damage output, but doesn't actually change the stats. That's the word I was looking for. But I've got one more thing to do. And I just realized I need to re-equip everyone with the proper armor, so to speak, on the case of Magus. Anyways, then we go back down here. Head up to Melchior one more time. There we are. Ah! A sunstone. I'll create an alloy out of it. Finished. Off you go now. Prism specs, which are a better version of the sunshades I just got. Don't think that's the last of my bag of tricks. Finished. Off you go now. The rainbow. I finally feel like I'm doing something worthwhile. The rainbow is Chrono's ultimate weapon with a 70% crit rate. Booyaka. So ups attack power to the max. I'm actually going to give him those instead of keeping the gold stud on him, just because it is a bit ridiculous. Where the sunshades, as I just looked up there, do a 25% boost to damage output, the prism specs do a 50% boost to damage output. And with Chrono now holding his most powerful weapon, which has a 70% crit rate, we're gonna dish out a lot of damage. So, what's next on our agenda? Well, that's right. I said we were going to do the Ruins quest now. So we better head over to Chorus. And I need to swap out... I'm going to swap out Robo for Glenn. And let's pop in Chrono since he's the main character and all. And then we gotta head back in time. Not forward, but back. Interesting how it looks like Chorus shrunk as history changed, or as time wore on. We're done for now. We can't repair the spots where the monsters hide. Call us after you get rid of them. We'll do the rest. Come on, you lazy brokes. Blokes. I'm having a bit of an issue with L's today. But before I go into the ruins, it's time to end the episode. Stopping a little early to balance out the little long from a couple episodes ago. Or was it last episode? Last episode. So anyway, till the next, live well.